Good morning and welcome to the November 21st meeting of the Public and Protective Services Committee. On the committee is myself, Chair Mike O'Connor, Councillors Bosch, Councillor O'Toole, and Mayor Clayton. There is a slight alteration in the agenda where grant recommendations will now be 3.2, and so we'll go to reports, and 3.1, service area update, Chief Lemieux.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So to start off on update on a couple of capital projects, with regards to the Coordinated Care Campus, planning for the communal kitchen renovations have started, and planning for the municipal move offices and third floor occupancy that is expected to happen on or about February 1st, 2024. With regards to the tenants at the Coordinated Care Campus, we're slowly growing, and we're expecting 41 by the end of this month. Our total capacity there is 63. The next capital project update is on Fletcher House. So Fletcher House has been granted occupancy on November the 16th, there's some follow-up building permit items that are required to be completed by November 24th, but we do have occupancy. There are 10 tenants scheduled to move in by the end of November, with a remainder of occupancy, another 32 tenants to be phased in shortly thereafter. From the Community Social Development Department, we have submitted a grant application for a program called New Horizons for Seniors program. The request is for $5 million over 5 years for a program called Seniors Social Inclusion, and we expect to hear whether we proceed to the next step in the spring of 2024. So that's an early application for seniors programs. This week is National Addictions Awareness Week, on November 19th to the 25th, with our award-winning Opioids Don't Discriminate exhibit opening today, this afternoon at the Teresa Sargent Hall. That exhibit will be open all week, with students attending in the mornings, and the opening to the public late afternoons for the rest of the week. From the Housing and Homeless Initiatives Department, the Coordinated Care Campus renaming subcommittee will have its first meeting tomorrow, and we look forward to their recommendations. The Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness Conference was held November 8th to the 10th in Halifax, and we had one of our staff do a presentation there. Our Housing and Homeless Program Coordinator, Ashley Saunders, did a presentation on the Grande Prairie's Coordinated Access System, a presentation that was very well received. I believe Councillor O'Connor was in attendance at that conference. From Enforcement Services, we have hired 3 new community peace officers, and they've started on November the 9th. All 3 new hires were community peace officers in their previous employment, so we did not have to spend any time or money for additional training for them. Enforcement Services participated in the Remembrance Day ceremony on November 11th. And in anticipation of the upcoming snow season, we've been working with the Transportation Department, and enforcement officers have been making patrols in assigned zones in the city, looking for parking issues, abandoned vehicles, and any other issues that can be addressed proactively. In emergency management, we've conducted a regional hazard identification and risk assessment process, and that'll be ongoing. We'll be liaising with our various municipalities to identify what the risks are in our various municipalities, and refining our action plan based on that hazard identification. In the fire department, the new computer-aided dispatch is functioning very well and, as expected, automating many aspects of dispatching and time-stamping benchmarks, with giving us more accuracy. And the firefighters are also utilizing the new computer-aided dispatch technology in their trucks while responding to incidents. And this has reduced the radio traffic and allowed better information flow between the responding units and dispatch. Update from the RCMP. 2 of 3 Grande Prairie RCMP town halls have occurred, one on November 7th, one on the 15th. So there's valuable feedback that has been received from the community members who have attended, and the information will be fed back into the RCMP's annual performance planning system when they set their priorities for 2024-2025. And the next town hall, there is one upcoming on Thursday, November the 30th at 4 p.m. at the Teresa Sargent Hall. In addition to that, there's an online survey engagement that opened on November 1st and will be remaining open till the end of November, and that's being well used by the community. So that's very encouraging. Mobile outreach continues to identify individuals that are sleeping rough throughout the community. They estimate there are about 40 individuals, and so they're actively connecting with them and providing referrals to caseworkers to assist those individuals. Community Knowledge Campus, there's their upcoming one-day membership sale is coming up on December the 2nd, and that will extend to both prepaid annual Eastlink memberships and Grand Access passes. So they're available both, but you have to be purchasing them in person or online, and you get a 10% discount throughout that day of December the 2nd. Furthermore, to provide an immersive experience, complimentary facility access will be offered from noon till 5 p.m. on that day. This past weekend was a very busy weekend at the Community Knowledge Campus. The Eastlink Center was host to the Piranha Fast Track swim meet, and there was a volleyball camp at the same time. And Design Works Center was host to the Peace Wapiti Speed Skating Club tryouts, and there were a provincial football semifinal at the Hanson Lincoln Field. So very busy weekend. And upcoming event on Tuesday, November 21st. So today, this morning, actually, there was a Come Together Christmas campaign with the Pattison Media Group, which we really appreciated. And lastly, Sports Development, Wellness, and Culture. Winter programs are now available for registration, and they registration starts this week. Engagement sessions are taking place this week for the proposed indoor recreation center for user groups, for the neighborhood, and for stakeholders. And we are now 87 days out from the Alberta Winter Games, and the Games Office is continuing to recruit volunteers. And pleased to report that the after-school youth program at the Activity Center has increased to an average of 60-plus kids per day attending. That's my report, Mr. Chair, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Chief Lemieux. Really busy department. Any questions for Chief Lemieux? Councillor Bressy.
Great, thank you. I'm excited to hear the activities reception center is getting 60 kids per day. I'd be curious just to get an updated stat once the weather really plummets. I'm curious if we get more kids because they want to be inside more, or if we get less kids because they have to walk in that weather to get there. So I'd just be curious to get that again in a month.
We'll provide that on an ongoing basis, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Councillor O'Toole.
Mr. Lemieux, or Chief Lemieux, can you tell me once again the numbers for Fletcher House? There's 10 moving in by November 30th, and what was the other number?
So at Fletcher House, 10 tenants scheduled to move in by the end of this month. And so there'll be 32 units available, and those will be phased in. We expect full occupancy by March 1st, 2024.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Mayor Clayton.
Thanks, Chair O'Connor. Could you also remind me of the numbers at the Coordinated Care Campus currently?
So currently there are 35 tenants, and we're expecting 41 by the end of November.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to 3.2, which is the grant recommendations, and Chief Lemieux to introduce, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'm pleased to introduce Sarah Patterson, our Community Recreation Manager, who's prepared the report for you today, and she'll walk you through the report.
If I can get this right. Good morning, and thank you, Chair O'Connor. The Community Advisory Committee met on October 27th, 2023, to review the following grant applications and to make the following recommendations. Under the Come Fly With Me Fund, 5 applications were received. 2 applications were recommended based on the approved grant criteria. We also received 5 applications for the Perky McCullough International Excellence Scholarship. 2 applications were recommended based on the approved grant criteria. Next, we have the Bob Neufeld Scholarship. There were 6 applications received, and 4 applications were recommended based on the approved grant criteria. We received 1 application for the Arts Development Individual Project and Scholarship. That application met the criteria. Under the Community Improvement Grant, we received 1 matching application and 3 non-matching applications. All of the applications meet the approved grant criteria. And finally, we have the Public Art Reserve. The 2024 Alberta Winter Games Society will be purchasing a legacy art piece for approximately $40,000. The request to the Public Art Reserve is to purchase and install a commemorative plaque, purchase an extra set of panels, and install a concrete base and a power supply. Based on estimates, the recommendation is to approve up to $12,000. In summary, administration recommends the following funding. Come Fly With Me funding in the amounts listed in Appendix A for a total of $2,600. Perky McCullough Scholarship for a total of $5,000. Bob Neufeld Scholarship for a total of $4,800. Arts Development Individual Scholarship for a total of $1,400. Community Improvement Grant funding for a total of $11,482. And Public Art Reserve funding up to $12,000. Thank you, and I'm open for questions.
All right, thank you, Sarah. Any questions for Ms. Patterson? If not, I need someone to do the business. Councillor Bosch.
Thank you, Chair. Always nice to give money, hey? Isn't it great? I move committee recommend council approve funding allocation as presented in Appendix A. Thanks for all your work on this and your team.
Thank you.
Please vote.
Mayor Clayton in favor.
That is carried unanimously. Thank you. And we'll move on to 3.3. And Ms. Patterson, you're up again.
Well, thank you, Chair O'Connor. I'm here today to provide a report on the work that the Community Advisory Committee has done to date in 2023. For those who may not be familiar, the Community Advisory Committee provides a link between the city and the community at large. The committee provides advice on matters relating to significant recreation and cultural projects, ongoing engagement activities, community pride and events, and funding recommendations for community grants. The committee has met 6 times so far in 2023 and will meet 1 more time before year end. The committee has reviewed and supported 86 grants, nearing $412,000 of funding for arts development, pursuit of excellence, sport hosting, large-scale tourism, community improvement, and public art reserve grants. The committee received presentations from the city's engagement advisor and had an opportunity to ask questions and provide feedback on engagement opportunities available to the public, including municipal policing, the accessible transit program, intersection engagement, the food access and affordability survey, and municipal heritage designation. The Community Advisory Committee attended engagement sessions regarding the recreation and culture strategy to provide input on recreation and culture programs and services. The committee has also provided feedback and recommendations on the following initiatives: Arts Development Festival funding criteria, sport hosting grant funding criteria, large-scale tourism policy, the Bear Creek Folk Festival, suggestions for improvement and implementation of the Neighborhood Association strategy, and the future Grande Prairie Museum exhibit concepts. The committee has been very busy and has provided great feedback to administration to support projects and initiatives. Administration is requesting that committee recommend council accept this report for information. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Patterson. Are there any questions? Okay, seeing none, I will look for business, please. Councillor O'Toole.
Thank you very much, Chair O'Connor. I move the committee recommend council receive this report for information.
Okay, that motion's in order. Call the question.
Mayor Clayton in favor.
That is carried unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Patterson.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to 3.4, forest resource improvement, and we'll look to Chief Lemieux to introduce.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, Council may remember we submitted 2 applications to the Forest Resource Improvement Association of Alberta, the free Fire Smart grant. One was for a public education campaign. That application, unfortunately, was not selected to move forward. However, our second application for vegetation management or vegetation management program in the South Bear Creek corridor was approved to move forward. So we move into step number 2, which is a very detailed submission that we're just finalizing now. Part of that application requires a very specific motion from council. So the committee, hopefully the committee will recommend council support the vegetation management project as outlined in the Forest Resource Improvement Association of Alberta Fire Smart grant application. So that's very specific to that second application. Our application is for a $200,000 grant to do some vegetation management in South Bear Creek. That's my report, Mr. Chair, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions for Chief Lemieux? Seeing none, I will move for business. Councillor Bosch.
Thank you, Chair O'Connor. I move committee recommend council support the FRIAA Fire Smart Vegetation Management Grant application with the following motion. Council is committed to support the vegetation management project as outlined in the Forest Resource Improvement Association of Alberta, FRIAA Fire Smart Grant application.
That motion's in order. I call the question. And that's carried unanimously. We will now move on to outstanding items list. Chief Lemieux.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'm going to ask for 4 amendments to the outstanding items list. Number 1269, the Alberta 911 program standards. We'd like to move that to Q1 of 2024. Item number 1237, the Fireflex positions update. We'd like to move that also to Q1 of 2024. Item 1285, the Grande Prairie Curling Center. We'd like to also move that to Q1 2024. And the fourth one is item 1240, the Coordinated Care Campus detail budget. We'd like to present that on January the 9th, so that'll be Q1 2024.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? No. Business, Councillor O'Toole.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Chief Lemieux. I move the committee receive the November 21st outstanding items list as amended for information.
Okay, we'll call the question.
Mayor Clayton in favor.
And that is carried unanimously. We will now, there is no correspondence, and sorry, there is further business. I need a motion to go in camera, please. Councillor Bosch. Call the question.
Mayor Clayton in favor.
And that is carried. We'll wait for things to adjust so we get